Hi Flosstube, this is Veronica with Night Stitch, and today I have a Stitchy update. I have two finished objects, finished and fully finished. The first one is the Dimensions Christmas truck that I was working on, and I finished it and also fully finished it in this frame from Michaels, and it's just a silver frame. It's a tabletop one, and I used hot glue to glue the fabric onto the backing board. I got one of the chipboard type of things that I used for my other frame that I made a backing for, and I wrapped the project around the chipboard and hot glued it. And I did this on 32 count Lugana. It is Return to Eden is the name of the fabric, and I put beads instead of French knots for, like you can see, for wherever the French knots were, I put beads in. And I think that's all I have to... No, actually, I have more to say. I found that this was one of the easiest dimensions kits that I've ever done. It doesn't have a whole lot of like different types of stitches. It only had cross stitches, full cross stitches, and back stitch, and then the French knots. Most of the dimensions kits that I'm used to have like half stitches and then full stitches, and like stitching with 4 strands and stitching with 2 strands and then stitching with 1 strand. This one, the pattern was literally just 2 strands, full cross, and then you back stitch, and then you do French knots. So I was very happy with this kit. I used all the kit floss, and the beads are just things that I had extras of from other projects that I finished the beading for. So yeah. So I did it not with the kit fabric, but with the kit floss. That's all I have to say about that. My other finish was Doreen Jones' Christmas Advent Calendar Day 1, and I'm doing them all on separate pieces of fabric. And this one I did on Lava Chocolate by Fiberlicious. It's 28 count Opal Lugana, and I showed the finish last time, I believe, but now I have fully finished it. And I put it on an envelope. It's kind of thick, but I think when I do the rest of these, I'm going to leave less fabric to wrap around because then it won't be so thick. But I have like a box I'm just gonna put all of these in, so when it comes Christmas time, I can just open the box and find whichever day that I want and then open it. This is just something I decided would be fun for myself to do during Christmas or the month of December, just an extra little fun thing to do. And this is scrapbook paper, and I cut it, I measured wrong, so that's why this is like this, but let's see. This is just a Hallmark envelope that I had laying around because I have a box of really old Christmas cards that I think somebody gave to me, and the Christmas cards are like yellowed because there's like a gel sticker on them, but they're so old that they're yellowed, so I'm not going to send them to anybody because but for this reindeer thing, I put him around a piece of scrapbook paper and hot glued him, and then I put another piece that you can kind of see behind so that I could glue him onto the envelope. And then this has washi tape. And on the inside, I wrote down like a stitching thing. So like I think for this one I wrote stitch on one project for 5 days in December, non-consecutive. So it doesn't have to be 5 consecutive days. I can work on it whenever I want in December for 5 days. So when I pull this envelope and I open it, I don't have a project in mind, but I have a decision wheel that I spin for random projects to work on. So when I pull it, I'll see what it is, because by December I'm sure I will have forgotten. But so I'll open it and then I'll spin the wheel and find out what project I should work on, and then I'll follow the instructions in the envelope for the project, and I'll do that for all the 24 Advent calendar days. So I'm going to try that and see. That should be, I think I'll have fun with it. But we'll see if I do, and if I don't, I just won't do it again. I don't think I have any more finishes. So let's go with UFOs. So I have 2 UFOs. This fabric is 32 count Lugana, and it's a fat half of jack-o'-lantern from Fiberlicious. And I originally got this for a woman on exercise bike pattern that I was stitching. So I did that, but then I don't know, I wasn't having fun stitching some part of it or something. It just wasn't working, so I thought maybe I needed to change the fabric. So I stopped stitching that pattern on this fabric, and I put it away, and I had it in stash for a while. And then one day I really wanted to start my A Stitch in Time by Amy Stewart from Heaven and Earth Designs, and I really, really, really wanted to stitch that. And I didn't have a 25 count Lugana that was big enough, because that one is like one of those 700 stitches long or wide patterns. So, but I had this fat half of 32, and I thought if I stitch it 1/1, it'll fit. So I started doing that, and it's fine. Like, let's see, I have this. It's hard to see because it's so small. But I have this very center start of I got the one with the hoop in the middle that says A Stitch in Time, because I know now there's a different version without that, but I'm fine with this one. But I started doing it, and it's fine. Like, I did a column, like not an entire column, just kind of part of a column. But I did it 1/1, and I was just so impatient to start it. And I'm a loop starter usually, so I like the 2 strands with the loop start. But as much fun as this is, because I do like stitching 1/1 on 32, like when I do a Mirabilia and I do the skin 1/1, or when I do like Frosted Pumpkin and then I do skin 1/1. but I was like, I don't want to stitch 1/1 for 700 some odd stitches. So I decided I'm gonna UFO this, and I'll use the fabric for something else, and I'm gonna get a 25 count piece of fabric that will fit a stitch in time so that I can stitch it 2/1 like I do the rest of my haids. So I will save this jack-o'-lantern fabric for something else. And I have a lot of it, so I think I can probably find a bunch of different things I could stitch on here. And I may not even have to frog out the progress from a stitch in time, because I don't really want to frog out 32 count 1/1. It's not fun when I have to do it if I mess up on one of my projects where I am stitching skein 1/1. And because it's like so small and I didn't really do that much of it, I think I have plenty of fabric. I have plenty of fabric to do something with. So that is a UFO. And I think for a stitch in time, I either want pink or like a light purple, maybe like a lavendery type colored Lugana to work on that. So that's my first UFO. I have a shelf that this tripod is on, and I put stuff next to it, so if it shakes, that's why. My second UFO is the Captain America. It's like his face, half of his face is, he has his mask on, and the other half of his face he does not. And this is what I have, and I was changing it to be a colorful pattern instead of black and white, because the original said like get a dark fabric and then stitch the other color or something. I don't know what other color it was. It was like a lighter color, obviously, but I didn't want to do that, and so I did this instead, which is okay, but I got a pattern that I showed in my digital stash haul, and it was Captain America holding the flag like wrapped around him, and I really like that one, and so I think I'm gonna stitch that instead of this one. I also found another one where he's got, it's the same style where he has half of his face has his mask and the other half doesn't, and that one's in color, and I bookmarked it on Etsy, and I was like, if I was gonna stitch this again, I think I would just get that pattern because I think it looks better than what I did here. So this is Naiad, is the fabric. It's from Under the Sea Fabrics. And so I will use this for something else as well. So that's my second UFO. And my last UFO. Oh, I do have another finish. It's a very small one. It's out of order, but that's okay. So I used my other scrap of lava chocolate, which is what I did the reindeer on. And this is also 28 count opal Lugana. This is also Christmas Advent Calendar. This is day 2, and it's mittens, and I finished them. They're cute. So I have day 2 finished, and so now I will start day 3 at some point. And I'll try to finish this before my next Flosstube video, and make it onto an envelope, and then I'll show that next time. And then I decided if I don't get all 24 done before December, then I'll just have an envelope that's plain, and I'll still play my game, but I just won't have them all in pretty envelopes, depending on how far I get. My bucket has so much stuff in it. So I'll just go from the top, and then I'll tell you what it is, if it's a whip or a new start or whatever, yeah. So this is a new start. I got this a little bit ago. I remember doing a haul video not too long ago with this. It's imaginating. It's my Savior's words. And I started it. I don't have the date. I think when I do like an end of year review, which I've never done before, but I think it'll be fun to do one this year. Then I'll have like starting information, and yeah, because I've realized I don't normally do that on my videos, but I thought it would be fun to try to do that. I always find it interesting when other people say when they started something, so. I'm doing this on Fiberlicious 32 count Lugana. It's called Memories in the Rain. And this is what I have so far. So I have the ribbon started, and then the words of love. Almost. I didn't have one of the colors. I have it now, but I didn't put it in yet. But this is another new start. My LNS did a winter and July stitch along for the entire month of July, so it's technically still going on. And I decided to start this Sue Hillis design called Christmas in the Kitchen. And I've had this one for a while, and I hadn't started it, so I thought, well, this would be a good good time to start it, because it's a Christmas one. This fabric is Summer Soiree by Fiberlicious. It's 32 count Lugana. And I got 2 of the little items finished. I got the rolling pin done and the bowl of eggs, which also has a milk bottle attached to it. And I picked this fabric because it had green in it. I thought it would go well with the green and the pattern. And it's cute, so pink worked really well for it. Everything is done with 2 strands of thread over 2 fabric strands, so 2 over 2. So, yeah. And I backstitch as I go because I like to see the design come out. And I found out that the only reason I thought I hated backstitch before is because I saved it all to the end. So if I don't save it all to the end, then I don't end up hating it. Next up is Epic Storybook Princesses by Clouds Factory. I'm doing this on Peacock. It's 32 count Lugana. I finished Cocoam. And he's here. I didn't really like him in the movie because he was kind of a jerk, but he's kind of cute here, so. I did his skin 1/1. And he is all done. I have another thing with this that I was going to chart Thomas, who is John Smith's best friend in the movie. And Thomas is not charted by Cloud's Factory. So in this empty spot here, I'm going to put Thomas here. And in the pattern, it's got leaves like these that go down here, and then it has the little dog Percy, and then it has Governor Ratcliffe, and then it has another set of trees. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Thomas here because I've already charted him. And I charted him based off of John Smith, like his style of pants and his style of shirt minus the armor. So I'll put Thomas here, and then I'll put Percy and then Governor Ratcliffe, and then I'm not going to worry about the 2 extra trees or the leaves that kind of are swirling around John Smith, because there's leaves up here, so I'm okay with that. And then because I charted Thomas, I'm going to stitch Thomas next, and then I'll stitch the chief after that. Do I have a cover photo of this? Don't think so. I think I did this last time too. This is Museum Shelf by Amy Stewart. It's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. It's on Stormy Night Lugana, I believe. And I have a lot of threads hanging, but I think you can still see what I did. I got a little bit tired of this page here, so I went over here and I added some more up here. I worked my way up by following this up this way. And then I added some more up in this part. So, oh, and then I also went down this way. Went down this way as well, so. Because I wanted to start seeing some of the other exhibits, and so I wanted to just kind of gradually work my way out. So that was the plan for that. And I did it 2/1 full cross. And that fabric I just got from 123 Stitch, and I usually buy the Zweigart fabric from them. This is a new start. I've had this pattern for a while. I think I bought it in 2020, I think. This is the America by Stony Creek, and this was one of the free patterns. They have a free pattern every month, and all you have to do is pay shipping. So that's what I did for this. And I did this on not the called for fabric. I feel like I never say that, but it's because I don't ever do anything on the called for fabric, so it's kind of a given, but I don't know if I've ever said that. So this is Dragon Tears by Fiberlicious. It's 32 count Lugana. And this is what I have. I have some stars and then a little bit of the blue. And I have the colors now, but I didn't have them before, so I was kind of working around the colors that I didn't have. And I thought this fabric was perfect for it because of how the flag is oriented on the pattern. I put most of the red over here so that the blue would contrast with it, and then when I get down to here, the red will contrast with this blue, so I thought it would look cool. And that is also 2/2. I find that I really like stitching either on 25 count or 32 count 2/2. So 16 count and 25 count are kind of my favorite counts of fabric to stitch on. This is the Frosted Pumpkin Stitch Along. It's the Arctic Animals. And I'm doing that on Ashes to Ashes by Fiberlicious. It's 32 count Lugana. And I'm also doing this 2/2. And for this one, I did everything 2/2, so there's no 1/1 skin or anything like that. And I finished clue number 3, which is this caribou. And I changed the caribou's eyes to gold because I was looking up every animal's eye color and seeing what it was in real life. And caribous, they said their eyes change depending on the light or something. So like in the summer, their eyes are gold because it like reflects the sun or something like that. I could be saying that wrong, but it was the first thing that I saw when I typed in what color eyes do caribous have. I don't know if I picked it because of the summer or if I picked it because I thought, because they listed like all the different ones, like whatever seasons it was a different color, and so I picked the one that I liked, I think, because I was like, I wanted her to have gold eyes because I thought it was really cool. So that is why she has gold eyes. So last time when I did a stitch along, I fell off at clue number 4. So next month, the Arctic Animals is going to put out clue number 4. So if I can make it to clue number 5, if I can finish clue 4 before clue 5 comes out, then that means this stitch along will have been my most successful one so far where I did not fall off. So we're gonna try for that. This is my Dimensions Christmas truck that I showed you. And this is all the floss I have left over. I am very frugal with my floss, and so that is probably part of it. But also, they gave me a lot of floss, which is good because I wanted to stitch this pattern again. And I will need the gray color, these gray colors, and this brown color for mine as well, and probably the greens too, because I want to change it to a 4th of July truck, so I won't be making the truck red. However, all the other colors I will need again, so I was happy that I had that much left over. This is Whipco stuff now, because I finished the Whipco stuff at the beginning of the month, which meant it went in my Flosstube tub in the beginning of the month, so then it's at the bottom. So this is a half yard of Jobalon by Color and Cotton. It's Moonstone, and it's 32 count. And my goal for this, this was Toothless and Light Fury is the pattern, and my goal for it was to put 200 stitches into it. And I worked this way. So I had this whole thing done here, and then this, and so I decided to go across. So yeah, that's 200 more stitches. I don't know what Whipco number it was, but I'll put it on the screen when I edit. Oh, and July's Whipco got called as well, but I'll do that in my next video because I haven't looked at it yet. I know the numbers were called, but I haven't looked at what projects I have and all of that. So I just decided I'll just do that on the next video. So this was another one of June's Whipcos, and it is my Legendary Creatures Alphabet by Cloud's Factory, which is another stitch along that I did not finish. But now, this is Abracadabra by Ship's Manor. It's 32 count Lugana. And I have a Kraken and a Jackalope. And they are cute. I love that the Kraken is throwing this ship. He's just gonna chuck it into the ocean. And the Jackalope is like, what you looking at? He's cute. They're all cute. So that is done because my goal was to finish the Kraken and stitch another creature. So I finished the Kraken and stitched the Jackalope. So I like that I have been able to work on that because I was ignoring that project. Mainly just because I have a lot of things and I don't think about everything every day, because that would be a lot of things in my head to think about. Okay, so my last little short video that I did, I showed you a bookmark kit by Politruvia that I had, or Povitrulia, sorry, that I had unpacked and went through. So I started it. So this is what it's gonna look like when it's done. Just a cute little bookmark. And I used the Ada, which I'm very glad is soft, because I really don't like crunchy, starchy Ada. So my first review of this is that the Ada is very good. It's 16 count too. I don't know if that makes any difference. It probably doesn't. It just makes a difference of how much the company starched it before they packaged it. This one doesn't appear to have like that much starch in it, which is great. I love that. So at least for this bookmark kit, the Ada is very soft. I don't know about her other kits, but I would assume that she gets the same type of Ada for her stuff. So it's soft. This needle minder is from Needle Attractions. I think I just got it. She sends free ones when you order. So this was one of the free ones. And are you attached? No, you're not attached. The little pirate guy is so cute. I didn't know if I would like his little gap-toothed smile, but it's like I don't know. On here I thought, I don't know, maybe I would change his teeth or something, but he looks pretty cute, so I think it's gonna be fine. It was probably just the photo. So I'm just working on that randomly here and there, put a few strands in and then work on something else. Because the Aida is soft, but I kind of prefer working on even weave, so I don't tend to work on Aida for too long. But it's coming along nicely despite that. This next thing is my fabric of the month from Fiberlicious. It's called Ocean Mist, and it's 32 count Lugana, and it is bright green with some blue in it. It's very pretty. It's got a little bit of modeling. I went to my LNS for a Stitchy meetup, and I also got some things. I got this journal, and I got this needle minder, and it says, I stitch past my bedtime because I'm a night owl, and so I stitch at night often. So I'm kind of taking this journal a little slowly because I didn't just immediately fill it out or anything like that, because it's got, I'm sure most of you have seen this. It's So Emma, and I'm sure people have shown it before, but it's just a project thing. But I wrote on here, Keep Calm and Stitching On by Bobby G. So what I'm doing is, a lot of times when I'm working, I always think about other projects, either ones that I haven't started or ones that I have in my whips, and I just randomly think about them and I'm like, oh, I should stitch that, or oh, I should stitch that. And the thing is that when I do that, sometimes I don't remember what I thought that I wanted to stitch on, so then I end up like never starting the thing, or like ignoring whips for 4 years like I like to do. So I thought that, and I wrote it in pencil. So if I write down in here what I've been thinking about from patterns that I already have, then I can look at this as a record of like, oh, I was thinking about that. And then I should be like, okay, so do I have the stuff to start it? And then if I do, then I can start it. So, and I wrote it in pencil because I was gonna try to like erase it if I start it or something. That way I can, that way I don't have to have like 50 billion things of records or whatever laying around and paper everywhere. Because I kind of have that problem too, where I just make notes for things and then I just leave them, and then it just causes clutter. So gonna try to use this journal to keep myself a little bit more organized. I decided that since I finished Immortal for my LNS as a model stitch, and it's been a month, about a month since I gave it to her, I thought I would model stitch another project. So I decided to get a pattern by Little House Needleworks, and I got fresh brewed coffee. And this uses Classic Colorworks thread, and this fabric on here is 28 count Country French Hazelnut from Witchelt. I'm going to be using fabric I have in my stash. I don't know what yet because I have not done a floss toss, because I wanted to show this on the haul clip before I started doing anything with it. So I will be model stitching this soon, and it is 83 inches wide, or not 83 inches, the stitch count is 83 wide by 113 high, and the approximate size is 5 3/4 inches by 8 inches when it's done. I also got the called for threads for this. So I got Cayenne, Fresh Brew, Tea and Biscuits, Cocoa Bean, and the other one she didn't have it in stock, so I picked out a thread and then I showed her and she was like, no, that one has too much purple in it. So she helped me pick out this one, which is Black Coffee. And she was really cool to help me out with that, because all I had was the model or the pattern picture to go off of, and it's this dark color down here that's like grayish. And I had picked something like Zach something, and it was like gray, but it had too much purple, so this one had just the right amount of gray, and it's called Black Coffee, so it fit well. So it was cool. She helped me do that, so then it'll look fabulous when I'm done. And I wanted to film this haul thing before I started doing it, and I kind of wanted to start it today, so I decided to film the haul today. I also picked up this Colonial Santa series Williamsburg Santa from my LNS, and I liked him because it looks like he's holding like the Declaration of Independence or something, and I just thought he looked like a founding father, so it's kind of exactly stuff that I would stitch, so I got him. And my LNS owner actually, I had given her my wish list, like a digital wish list of stores from like before she opened. Obviously I didn't have an LNS, so I had to like buy stuff from online shops and stuff. So I sent her my wish list of the stuff that I had at other shops, and she saw this one on there and ordered it, with me in mind. And so I was like, that is the sweetest thing in the world, because I went in like a few days before I actually bought this, and she was like, I got some Mill Hill kits in. And so I went over and I saw it, and she was like, yeah, I got that because I was thinking, oh, I remembered what was on your list. So I thought that was really sweet of her. This is a kit that has beads and thread, and it's part of the other two Colonial Santas are the Jamestown Santa here and the Plymouth Santa here. So if you're a collector and you don't have these, those are the other two that go with him. And I'm excited. He's so cute. This other thing I got from a shop on Etsy called Or a Belle. And I've ordered from her before, and I had a 10% coupon, but I wasn't able to use it, but she had a sale on this one item that I was wanting, and the sale was better than the coupon anyway, so it didn't matter. But I got this kit from Malishka, and it's Visit London. And I thought it was the cutest thing in the world because it's this cute little couple kissing in a phone booth. And I really like landscapes and I like stitching people. And so it really also fit perfectly with what I like to stitch. So it comes with DMC threads and 16 count Ada by Zweigart. Then the fabric is this tan color. And I'm not going to use the fabric. I might throw the fabric up on my Etsy shop because I like even weave better. So I'll do that, but I'm really excited. This one is super cute. But I think that's all that I have for today. So let's see. I think I may do a shout out because I was watching Lydia's Leisurely Stitching and she left me a comment on one of my videos, and so I went over and looked at her channel, and she is very cool. She has a lot of really cool things that she stitches. She stitches some heaven and earth designs, and she also stitches like little smalls, and she's very pleasant to listen to. I like having her on in the background when she's showing her stuff, and then I can just look over, and she's stitching this heaven and earth design, and I'm still in some of her older videos, so she might have announced that she's either finished her heaven and earth design or she is very, very close to it. But it's a place of her own, and it's a girl sitting in her room with a whole bunch of like artwork and books and general like Renaissance-y era type things around her, and it's really pretty, and she's like almost done with that. Is when I saw her video, I think she was like 2 or 3 rows away from the bottom of the pattern, and it's so pretty. So I recommend her channel. It's Lydia's Leisurely Stitching, and she's very fun to watch. So that is my shout out. And I think that'll do it for my video. So thank you everyone for liking, subscribing, commenting, and watching. And I will see you guys on the next one. So goodbye.